Ever feel like you're stuck kind of spinning your wheels, working hard but not getting ahead financially?
Yeah, you're definitely not alone in feeling that way.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad for Teens.
Okay, great choice.
It seems like you're really interested in wealth building, and this book offers, well, kind of unique perspective on it all.
It does, yeah. It's even if it's a bit unconventional, let's say.
Exactly. And that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah,
To break down these maybe unconventional ideas and see what we can learn.
absolutely. So, are we ready to jump in?
Let's do it. Our mission today is to pull out those core lessons about money, and financial success that are kind of hidden within these pages, and hopefully give you some takeaways, even if you only have a few minutes to spare.
I like it. Sounds good.
All right. So this book, it kicks off with this idea of the rat race. Have you heard of this?
Oh, yeah, it's basically like this cycle of working, right?
Yeah.
Working for everyone else. Your boss, the government, the banks. And it often feels like you're just going through the motions.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're stuck on this treadmill, but you're not really going anywhere.
It's interesting you say stuck on a treadmill because the book actually uses that analogy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really? It's like we're playing Monopoly, but no one ever actually taught us the real rules of the game.
That's a great way to put it. And what's fascinating is that the author actually tested this out. He had this financial board game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he claims that he was the only one in the entire group who escaped this rat race in the game.
Wow. So what was the secret weapon?
Well, he credits his success to, understanding these financial concepts, the kind of things that most people, they don't get taught.
It really makes you think, right? Like, what are we missing out on?
Exactly. It's like having the inside scoop. That's what financial literacy can do, I think. It's like it gives you the key to breaking free from that cycle.
And one of the things that really struck me like a real aha moment was this whole idea about a house. Like, is it really an asset? I mean, isn't that what we're always told? Buy a house, good investment. But this book kind of throws some cold water on that idea.
It definitely challenges that conventional wisdom. It makes you stop and think, is it really an asset if it's constantly draining your bank account?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You've got your mortgage payments, property taxes, and don't even get me started on maintenance costs. It never ends.
It makes you think about, like, okay, what is an asset then, if my house isn't necessarily one?
It's about looking beyond what you see, you know? Asking yourself, is this thing actually putting money in my pocket or is it taking it out?
Assets versus liabilities.
Exactly.
It's not just about what you own. It's about how that thing is working for you
Right.
or against you.
Right. And the book argues that rich people, they focus on acquiring assets, stuff that generates passive income, like, maybe stocks, businesses, rental properties.
So they're making their money work for them.
Exactly. Creating a situation where your money is working harder than you are.
That's the dream. So instead of pouring all your hard-earned money into a house that might not actually be an asset, at least according to this book,
Right.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad for Teens is suggesting invest in things that will pay you back.
Make your money work for you.
Exactly. Which brings us to another big takeaway. Corporations.
Okay, yeah, corporations.
They get a lot of attention, right?
They do. And this is where understanding the rules of the game, like we talked about before, becomes super important.
Yeah.
Because the book argues that corporations, they've got they have these significant tax advantages,
Yeah.
right? And legal protections too. And individuals, well, we often miss out on those.
It's almost like corporations are playing with a whole other rule book.
Yeah.
And most of us, we don't even know those rules exist.
It's about leveling the playing field. You know what I mean? It's about understanding how the wealthy, how they use these structures to their advantage.
So it's not necessarily about, like, being shady or anything.
Right. None of that.
It's more about being informed.
Yeah. Yeah. Think about taxes, for example. We always hear about how it's supposed to redistribute wealth,
Yeah.
right? But the book, it highlights how corporations can use these totally legal strategies to reduce their tax burdens.
So it's not about avoiding taxes altogether. It's just,
It's about working smarter, not harder, using the system to your advantage.
which is exactly why being financially literate is so important.
100%.
It's about knowing enough to actually make decisions about your money.
Yeah.
Informed decisions, not just accepting whatever you were told.
It's about empowerment. And it's not even just about getting rich. It's about freedom, having the freedom to make choices about your life, your money, your future.
That's a powerful way to put it. Financial freedom equals choices. It really is. Like, it's almost like learning a new language, right?
Yeah. I like that.
Once you understand, like, the vocabulary and the grammar of money, then
Yeah.
you can start to, write your own story.
Precisely. And just like learning any new skill, I think, there's always going to be those hurdles, those mental ones. Those are the toughest.
Oh, absolutely.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad for Teens. It actually breaks down 5 major roadblocks.
5.
5 that I think can get in the way of financial success. You ready?
Hit me. What are they?
Fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and good old arrogance.
Man, those are so relatable. It's like no matter where you are on the, like, financial spectrum,
Totally.
we all struggle with this
It's
stuff.
part of being human.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's unpack those. Let's start with fear, because I think, man, money can be scary. Like the idea of investing it.
Oh, 100%. Because what if you lose it all? Right. That's the big fear.
Exactly.
But the book, it says, it's not about pretending you're not afraid.
Oh, good, because that's impossible.
Right. It's more about learning how to manage it. Like, don't let it completely paralyze you.
Oh, that's good.
The book tells this story, and I love this story, about the author's rich dad. So he's facing this potential loss, like $100,000.
Oh, no.
Right. Total
Oh,
disaster, you'd think. But get this, he manages to turn it around, turns it into a $1.1 million win.
Whoa. That is some serious lemonade out of lemons action.
Right. That's exactly what it is. It's about shifting your perspective, you know?
Instead of panicking.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of thinking, oh no, I'm ruined, it's about asking, okay, what can I learn here?
Yeah, love that. All right, so we've tackled fear. What about cynicism? Because let's be honest, it's easy to fall into that trap, thinking the system's rigged or it's hopeless.
Oh, yeah. Cynicism is a dream killer, for sure. The book actually gives this example. It's kind of funny, but also sad.
Oh, tell me.
So there's this guy, right? He's got a chance to get in on this great real estate deal. But he doesn't do it.
Why not?
Because he's convinced that the market's going to crash, total doom and gloom. So guess what happens?
It goes up.
Way up. The market rebounds like crazy. Everyone's making money.
Yeah, but not our cynical friend.
Nope. Left behind with nothing but regrets.
Ouch. Okay, so avoiding cynicism is important, but we can't just, like, walk around with rose-colored glasses on and pretend everything's perfect.
Right. Ignorance isn't the answer. Being informed is. Don't just rely on gut feelings or what you hear from, your uncle at Thanksgiving.
Or from us.
Haha, exactly. Do your research. Understand the facts. Then you can actually make some good decisions. Decisions based on logic, not fear.
Okay, so cynicism. Check. What's next on our list of financial roadblocks?
Laziness.
Oh, man. That one's tough.
The worst. And you know what? Even the most driven people can get stuck in a laziness rut.
Oh, totally. It's so easy to just, like, put things off, especially when it comes to finances. Like, I'll deal with it later.
Procrastination is real.
The book makes this point about laziness that I thought was interesting. It's like sometimes we disguise our laziness as being too busy.
Oh, yeah. All the time. It's easier to say you're too busy than to admit you're avoiding something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we put off those important tasks, like, I don't know, making a budget or finally looking into those investment options.
That later becomes never.
Ex-
You know what they say. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today.
I love that. It's never too late to start, but the sooner the better. Which I think brings us to developing good financial habits, right?
Habits, yeah, they can make or break you, honestly.
So how do we build those good habits? Where do we even begin?
Well, Rich Dad, Poor Dad for Teens has this one habit it really emphasizes. Ready for it? Pay yourself first.
Pay yourself first. Okay, that sounds interesting, but what does that actually mean?
So before you pay your bills, before you buy that fancy coffee, you're setting aside money for your future self.
Just putting it into savings or investments.
Exactly. It's about shifting your mindset. Instead of pay everyone else first, it's I'm my own top priority. And it doesn't have to be this huge amount, even small, consistent contributions, they can really add up over time, especially with, the magic of compound interest.
Compound interest, yeah. That's a whole other deep dive we could do. But I like how this book is all about action and mindset. It's like, okay, we can understand these concepts, up here, but we got to actually put them into practice.
100% agree. And that brings us to our final mental obstacle on that list, arrogance.
Arrogance, okay. So not just like thinking you're better than everyone else.
Well, it's not necessarily about being, boastful or overconfident in like a cocky way.
Okay, so how does Rich Dad, Poor Dad for Teens define arrogance then?
It's more like this combo of ego and ignorance, like thinking you already know everything when you definitely don't.
Oh, I know that type, the been there, done that mentality. It's like that can really stop you from, seeing new opportunities.
Exactly. Or seeking out advice. The book really emphasizes how important it is to always keep learning.
Never stop learning.
Find mentors. Be open to new ideas. It's about acknowledging that you don't have all the answers. Be willing to learn from others, especially those who've been there.
Yeah. Check your ego at the door. I like it. Okay, so we've talked about those mental roadblocks, but what about the actual, doing part? How do we actually build financial intelligence?
Well, the book, it gives these 10 practical steps.
Ooh, 10 steps. Were there any that really stood out to you?
I really liked the part about finding new investment formulas.
Investment formulas.
Yeah, it's like he's encouraging us to become, financial detectives.
I love that. So what does it mean to, find an investment formula?
Be curious, explore different investment strategies, and then, figure out what actually worked best for you, your situation, your goals.
Because one size doesn't fit all
Yeah.
when it comes to investing.
Right. The book actually gives this example of the author himself stumbling on this book. It was about tax lien certificates. Have you heard of those?
I can't say that I have.
Yeah, most people haven't. But he gets his hands on this book, and the important thing is he doesn't just read it, right? He takes action.
He puts on his detective hat.
Exactly. He talks to experts, and you know what? He finds 2 amazing investment opportunities just from being curious.
See, that's what I love about Rich Dad, Poor Dad for Teens. It's not just some, theoretical pie-in-the-sky kind of thing.
Right.
It's about real-world application, like actually taking what you learn and making it work for you.
It's about understanding the game and then actually playing it to win.
Exactly. But not getting discouraged if you don't become a millionaire overnight.
Of course not. Success takes time, It's about consistent action, learning from your mistakes, refining your approach as you go. And one more thing the book talks about is making offers. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Even if it means you might get rejected.
Even then.
So be proactive.
Yes. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity to just fall in your lap.
You got to go out and make it happen.
Exactly. And the book, it says that the more offers you make, in life, in business, the better your chances of finding those hidden gems.
It's a numbers game.
It kind of is. And it all ties back to financial education. The author actually suggests before you even think about investing your money, invest in learning about investing.
So knowledge first.
Always. Build a strong foundation. Then you can build that financial fortress on top of it.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. I'm so glad we chose Rich Dad, Poor Dad for Teens. It really drives home the point that financial literacy isn't about being some kind of genius. It's about developing those financial muscles.
Love that. It's about being proactive, not reactive.
And being open to new ideas, even if they seem a little unconventional at first, like maybe questioning whether a house is always a good investment.
Challenge the status quo. Think for yourself.
Exactly. So, to wrap things up, if a simple board game showed the author such stark differences in how people understand money, just imagine what's possible when you actively invest in your own financial education.
It's an investment that pays dividends for life.
What opportunities are out there just waiting to be discovered? Something to think about. As you continue on your own journey towards financial freedom,